because you score and you think that's your time to take a breather, but Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are going to run it.
Replace Clark. Media desperately trying to replace Caitlin Clark with Paige Bueckers, as Elle Duncan shows Delusions. The women's college basketball world has been abuzz with discussions surrounding the perceived rivalry between superstars Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers. However, a recent appearance by ESPN analyst Elle Duncan has raised eyebrows, as she displayed a concerning level of delusion and bias in her commentary on the matter. During a segment, Duncan made the astonishing claim that if Bueckers had stayed healthy throughout her college career, she would be the biggest star on the planet. This statement is not only factually questionable, but also reveals a disturbing agenda on the part of the media to anoint Bueckers as the successor to Clark's throne, despite the overwhelming evidence that Clark is the superior and more captivating player. The problem, as many have pointed out, is that the media's obsession with comparing the two players is driven not by an objective assessment of their talents, but by a desire to replace the wildly popular Clark with a more controllable star in Bueckers. This narrative has been brewing for some time, with the media constantly finding ways to pit the two against each other, despite the fact that Clark's fans have shown no interest in making such comparisons. The media doesn't want Caitlin Clark to be the face of the sport, said one analyst. They see her as too much of a wild card, too uncontrollable. Paige Bueckers, on the other hand, is seen as more malleable, more willing to toe the line when it comes to the league's interests. That's why they're so desperate to make her the new superstar. This sentiment is echoed by many fans, who have grown weary of the media's relentless attempts to downplay Clark's achievements and elevate Bueckers as her replacement. They point to the fact that Bueckers has struggled to draw significant crowds, even in high-profile games, while Clark has consistently drawn massive viewership and attention. Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent, and the media knows it, said one fan. But they can't stand the idea of her being the face of the sport because she doesn't fit their mold. So they're doing everything they can to push Paige Bueckers as the next big thing, even though the numbers and the fan engagement just don't back that up. This brings us back to Duncan's comments, which can only be described as delusional. The idea that Bueckers would be the biggest star on the planet, if not for her injuries, is simply not supported by the available evidence. Bueckers is undoubtedly a talented player, but her impact on the sport has been muted compared to Clark's, both in terms of on-court production and off-court popularity. Furthermore, Duncan's claims about the media's role in comparing the two players are equally problematic. As mentioned earlier, it is the media itself that has been the driving force behind these comparisons, not the fans of either player. By deflecting responsibility and suggesting that the media is simply responding to the comparisons, Duncan is displaying a level of denial and obfuscation that is unbecoming of a professional analyst. Ultimately, the media's desperate attempts to replace Caitlin Clark with Paige Bueckers speak to a broader issue within the world of women's basketball. The sport has long struggled with issues of visibility and representation, and the media's insistence on pushing certain narratives at the expense of others only serves to perpetuate these problems. As fans, it is crucial that we remain vigilant and call out these biases whenever they arise. The women's game deserves better than the kind of delusional and agenda-driven commentary that we've seen from the likes of Elle Duncan. It's time for the media to let go of their preconceived notions and embrace the true superstars of the sport, whoever they may be.